Welcome to another episode of OG55 Live. We got Mr. Webba, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in the house. Mr. Webba, we got Tommy Toon back in the building, and we got Mr. Choo Choo Caboose Conductor in the house. We are taking your questions, your comments on OG55.
I ain't got nothing to say but West Side.
Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55. We have a fantastic panel today. We got Webba, Tommy, and Conductor in the house taking your questions. Mr. Webba, welcome back, sir.
OG, thank you so much for having me back on another live with all you fine gentlemen. And guys, we just saw each other like a couple of days ago, right? And that was a blast. Having everybody here was a freaking blast. So thank you so much for having me on, OG.
Absolutely. Mr. Webba, where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Of course, you can find me on Threads, Instagram, and Twitter, Mr. Webba91. You can also find me here on Orange Grove 55.
Yes, and actually, Mr. Webb and I filmed a few episodes actually of his show Web Shots, where we talk about SeaWorld, we talk about Top Gun, that attraction coming to Las Vegas. We also dip into the Six Flags Cedar Fair layoffs. So over there, it's a show called Web Shots, where he doesn't squabble up. He web shots it up. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Webba, there he is. Thank you for joining. Tommy Toon, welcome back, brother. How you doing, man?
What's up, fellas? OG, I appreciate you. Thanks for always having me on, man. I love coming on here and talking game, talking theme parks. It's a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to have you on. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Yeah, you can catch me on YouTube at Tommy Toon World. See all my food reviews on there. And then on Instagram at TommyToon_.
There he is. Make sure you show this man some love. Check him out on all platforms, YouTube, subscribe. He's got a lot of great Disneyland 70th content. I think today your Wondrous Journeys video dropped, so check it out. And we got Mr. Theme Park Conductor, big fan of the caboose, right, Mr. Conductor? How you doing, bro?
The caboose is hot and steamy tonight. It's ready. But it's always a great time hanging out with you guys. OG, you're always a fantastic host. I love hanging out with you guys, talking theme parks. It's always a great time. So, like Mr. Webber said, we met a couple days ago on a live stream. So this is part 2. I'm going to name it part 2. So we're going for it. But you can find me, Theme Park Conductor, on YouTube, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream. I just had Jared from Capture the Magic on the live stream talking about his first reaction to Epic Universe grand opening day. So definitely go check that out.
100%. We got the Giant Peter show in the house. The Avengers have been assembled. Oh, yeah. We are absolutely 100% the Avengers. Absolutely. Mr. Dragonblood, member for 6 months. Dragonblood, thank you so much, brother. We do appreciate you. Friend of the channel, Dragonblood, is in the house. He says here, I hope to see the OG55 gang at D23 2026 or even at Disneyland or Universal Studios Hollywood. I am very excited for the next year, big time. Dragonblood, I would love to meet up with you. We would all love to meet up with you. If you ever want to hang out, if you're at Disney, if you're at Universal Hollywood, D23, whatever it is, just shoot us a message and we would love to hang out. One of my favorite things about doing content in general is that community, you know, like we recently all of us were at the Disneyland 70th, man. And it was like the best time. And we were all just like laughing and joking around and having a good time over there. It's really the best part of Dragonblood. So like, yeah, I know you're like not in California, but if you're down here, let us know. I will make it a point to hang out with you and hang out. But Tommy, what say you, brother? I mean, like, what say you about Dragonblood wanting to hang out and chill with us?
Yeah, off top, man. I'm down for sure. I know it's a long ways away, but HHN, it's always fun to link up there. I know these gentlemen are going to be at Disneyland on the 17th of July. So we got a lot of times to hang out. I know Conductor is going to the summer event at Universal. So I'm down to kick it whenever, man. You can hit me up on Instagram too. I know we follow each other on Instagram. It's always cool to say what's up to in person, man. Like shout out B-Roll Adventures on Instagram, but he hit me up and was like, "Hey, are you at Starbucks at DCA?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, you should have came and said what's up to the boy." But yeah, man, it's all good. I may look angry or stern, but that's just my facial expression, man. I'm ginger, so I'm normally happy though. So you can say what's up whenever. I don't care. Interrupt the content, bro. It's all good. Come get it,
dude. I can confirm Tommy's a good dude. I hung out with him for the first time last weekend, and really fun experience. So make sure if you see him in the parks, go and say hi to him. Mr. Webba, what about you, brother? In terms of hanging out at the parks, that community, how you feel about that, bro?
Oh, dude, like hanging out with the community and people, who like watch the channel or just anybody from the community, it's freaking amazing, dude. When we were there together hanging out, it was such a fun time. Like, dude, OG, I'm a rides guy, right? I did not go on one ride in my entire life of going to the parks. I did not go on one single attraction because I was having just a great time with, OG, George, Conductor, Theme Park Casual, right? It was an awesome time being there and seeing other people from the community there, hanging out. You just get to nerd out, and it's fantastic.
100%. Mr. Conductor, what say you, sir?
Absolutely. Dragon Blood, I just want to say that you're an absolute great friend of all of ours. I've seen you come on my live streams as well. One thing I can say with you and then other people watching this live stream is if you see us in the park, please don't be afraid to come up to us and say hi. Like Tommy said, if we're filming, we don't care. That's what we got into the business for. We're content creators. We can edit. We can, maneuver things around. But we love people, especially from our community, coming up to us, saying hi, wanting to get a picture, talk for a couple minutes. We love that. We love that engagement. So please do so. And if you see one of us at Universal or Disneyland, I know OG and George have a event coming up in August. I'm going to try to be part of that as well. That's going to be taking place in downtown Disney. Am I correct, OG?
Downtown Disney, yeah, in August. That is correct, sir.
Yes, it's going to be a meet and greet where you can meet all three of us, and I'll definitely do a little video clip with anyone who wants to yell that choo choo or yell that caboose for you. So that was that Conductor experience. But if you see us roaming around, please come say hi.
100% Conductor. And this dude Conductor, man, he's a tall dude. I met this guy and I was like, what? He's like, what are you, 6'3", 6'4"?
6'3".
Man, it's wild. That's wild. Yeah, he's a tall dude. But we got our friend all the way from the UK, Mr. Matthew Murr, with 10 euros. Matthew, we all appreciate you so much. Matthew has been family here at OG55 for a very, very long time. He's saying right here, spicy proposal. Now, we love spicy proposals. Let's see what this is. I'd like to propose a new phrase we should use to combat grifters called, quote, post-Walt derangement syndrome, end quote. The idea that he disdained many have for the Walt Disney Company because Iger is truly a hatred for every single thing the company has done since Roy Disney in 1971. Even writing the Eisner-Wells era off as a soulless sham, it could really expose just how deep anti-Disney sentiment truly is. Okay, yeah, that's interesting, Matthew. I mean, here's the thing, man. That whole stuff is kind of weird to me. Like with the whole, you like you call them the grifters, right? A lot of the grifters will talk about. Okay, let's dive into this. A lot of the grifters will talk a lot about Trump derangement syndrome with like progressives and things like that, right? And I don't want to get political, but this is like kind of on my mind. They'll talk about Trump derangement syndrome, like, man, people are obsessed with Trump and the derangement syndrome and all this stuff. And it's like, but I feel like they are like that with Bob Iger. Right? I feel like they're like obsessed with Bob Iger and like Rachel like Zegler and like all these lefties or whatever and I feel like it's like there's like a lot of like a lack of like this self-awareness, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of lame. But what say you, Mr. Webba? I totally got political and turned it to you, so I do apologize.
Well, I will say, it is pretty entertaining to see what Bob Iger would look like if he had red laser eyes, for sure. But I mean, because here's the thing, here at OG55, we just try to keep it real, right? If the head of the company or another executive, if they're doing something cool and good, we'll praise them on that, right? It's cool and good. If they're not, we'll say it's not a cool or good thing, and we try to really keep it very balanced and fair. And yeah, I don't like the whole idea for people to do this to any company of just hating on them just because and trying to bring it down. I don't think that's cool at all. If you have a valid critique or criticism, that's fair game. But if you're just going to be constantly bashing, to me, just seems like, and this goes for any fandom, for any company, to me, that screams, I'm trying to tarnish the company, right? Like, I don't really care if the company is really, if they're doing good things, I'm going to overlook that and try to give away how that's bad. Yeah. Right. So you're always going to have these people in any of these kind of fandom communities that are always going to try to do that. And it's not cool. I don't like it and I wish it would stop, but it's not going to stop, unfortunately. But here we keep it real, OG.
No, 100%. What say you, Tommy?
Well, I'm going to keep it light and shift towards, you're talking about Roy Disney, I believe in that. So I just watched that How Disney Built America series on Disney Plus. I don't know if you guys like that. Have you guys checked that out?
I have not.
Oh, it's pretty solid. So they got like 5 episodes, right? And like one is like Walt and then trying to get Mickey going, and then it was Oswald and it was a Universals, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was sick. And one of the episodes is for Disneyland. Then the last episode, the 4th or 5th episode is Walt before he's dying, right? Getting oh no, that's what's up. What's up?
I love it.
That's cracking.
Yeah, go ahead, Tommy. Go ahead.
Surfing the internet, I ended up in a podcast.
There he is.
Yeah, what's up, Slimer, man? I've never got to meet you, but man, it's good to meet you on here, man. What's up?
Hey, likewise, Tommy Toon, theme park conductor. How you doing? Webba, how we doing?
Slimer, our boy, what's up?
Slimer is in the house. Conductor, any thoughts on that last comment before we kind of move on? Or
so I think when Walt and Roy were starting the company, when Walt decided to expand outside the studios and build Disneyland, I think because we've all talked about it, about the current CEO situation with Bob Iger's contract ending in 2026, and hopefully someone new comes in and changes the game a little bit, hopefully for the better. I think we've talked about it. I think they need to explore going back to the dual CEO position where there's 2 voices instead of one. That's what I think about it.
All right, sounds good. So Slimer, welcome aboard, brother. We're gonna dive right in. Here we go. We got let me see here. Where was I? Actually, we got a Epic Universe. Remy D. Epic this evening had 7 rides closed due to weather, with only 3 rides working. Even the carousel was closed. This can't be sustainable. Slimer, I'll start with you. You've been to Epic. We have not. What do you think about this idea of the rides closing due to the inclement weather?
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. If it's a problem for Busch Gardens and SeaWorld, it's definitely going to be a problem for Universal Studios. There's no way around that. We're the lightning capital of the world. It's not so much the rain that closes down the rides. It's whenever there's what's called an L5, or when lightning is within 5 miles. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the standard for ride closures at theme parks here in Florida. But big issue. Today is the first day. I heard this through the grapevine, but today's the first day that they actually raised the caps on attendance. If anybody logged into the Universal app today, lines were out of control. Most rides were over 100 minutes. It's like all of a sudden people knew that Epic Universal was open today. And with that kind of attendance and that kind of a crowd, ride closures is definitely going to be a problem.
No, 100%. And that's good to hear because I think it looks like a great park. I've heard a lot of great things from you, Slimer, from the Italiano, from Jared, Capture the Magic. So I hope that it is a success. And I think it will be because I think there's a lot of good. I mean, look, this is a brand new park. So for a brand new park, I think we have a really strong foundation here to kind of play with, right? Is it a perfect park? Absolutely not. But it's a very, very strong foundation, and I think it's something that we can really build upon. What say you, Mr. Webba?
Well, I actually want to ask Slimer, do you think that with more people, coming to the park, do you think that this could kind of have a bad first impression if you're coming to the park and a lot of rides are down, and then you have that kind of bad weather? Because I always have like this thing with these theme parks when they have a lot of attractions that are outdoors based. And then when there's bad weather, like a good chunk of the park has to close down. But like, I mean, we got Knott's Berry Farm, Legoland, SeaWorld, right? These are the parks that have like a lot of outside attractions to do. So do you think that could be a problem out there in Florida where you do get like those kind of hurricanes or severe thunderstorms?
Well, the hurricanes not so much because the hurricanes affect all the theme parks pretty uniformly. When one closes down in Orlando, all of them close down in Orlando. So I don't think they're going to be losing out with regard to that. Plus, it's only like 2-3 days out of the year tops. The hurricanes affect theme park business. But when it comes to lightning, I mean, usually, the rides might be down for a couple of hours. There's never been an instance where it's been down like all day. I mean, those are really, really rare. So it'll be down for a couple hours in the morning if there's a thunderstorm in the morning, and then if there's one in the afternoon, it might be down for another hour or two. But they really try to push the ride openings as far as they can, and then once it's within 5 miles, they close them by law. But no, I don't think so. I mean, we don't hear about it affecting other parks. I mean, I know a lot of people, they go to Busch Gardens, that affects them. But it's not like this. It's not like this complaint that has, like amassed into a big thing on social media. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Plus, they're going to add things. They're going to add a parade. We know that's coming because they filed their permit for a parade building. They're going to have a nighttime show, so people are going to wait out those storms to see that. They're probably going to bring probably the best, if not the second best, or match for the first best nighttime spectacular. So I think as they add more things, sans a new ride, I mean, like you put the new ride aside because that's another 2 to 3 years down the road, I think it'll be fine. I mean, it's a problem when it happens, but once it blows over, it's business back to normal. But again, this is a new park. Like you should go into Epic Universe expecting it to be busy. Like if you don't go in with that expectation, I don't know what to tell you. Like you didn't get the memo.
Yeah, didn't get the memo. And then maybe here it says, Iger in the chat, hit me up if you're looking for any sugar babies.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Hey Iger, I'm gonna extend that invite to myself too, man. I mean, he's not really my type, but I don't know.
Hey, money changes people, right?
Yeah, 100%. And then Cassandra says she can't handle all this hotness. I mean, it's a great looking panel. It really is. It really is. 100%. Let's see here. We got, let me see here. Mark McHugh here. Thank you, Mark, for joining us. Who do you think would be a better kisser? This escalated quickly, this conversation. Okay. Who do you think would be a better kisser, Roy or Walt? Roy seems like he would be all business.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, Tommy, what say you, bro?
I don't know, man. Conductor, you'll have to let me know when you see the animatronic on July 17th.
Oh,
I'm definitely not giving that thing a kiss. Holy Lord. In the front row, that's as much as I'm going to entertain.
That is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. And we have the one, the only Mr. Hey Bricky in the house. Centrico no show. Rest in peace, George. Rest in Greece, Italiano. Oh man, we love you, Bricky. We absolutely love you. And make sure everybody at home, if you are not subscribed to Bricky, Hey Bricky, and the Bricky vlog, make sure you definitely do so. Bricky is a friend of the channel. Awesome dude, man, and just support him 1,000%. So we react to a lot of his videos here.
Shout out, hey Bricky, man, he's the man, bro. He was chilling with us for a while at the 70th, man. We were kicking it, man. It was dope. That's what you mean, man. Like the 70th was just like a big party, man. Everybody was just hanging out, having fun.
Yeah, it was fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. Cassandra here says, which characters would you like to see at Oogie Boogie Bash? Tickets to be announced later this week. Man, that's an interesting one. Oogie Boogie Bash. What say you, Conductor? Who would you like to see introduced? Somebody new.
Someone new that they haven't brought before, or
like a new character that you haven't seen that you would like to see, premiere at the bash.
That's a hard one because I really don't have anybody. Maybe like I would like to see, it's characters they brought before, but very rarely. I would like to see them bring back Captain America, the zombie character, Moonlight. I would like them to reach more into the Disney villains than they already have, because we've all talked about it. Oogie Boogie Bash is cool, but it's starting to become a little redundant because it's always the same thing. Maybe one or two things, maybe a couple things new, but nothing where it's like, oh my God, it's mind blowing. I have to buy a ticket this instant. But, people that are diehard fans will buy tickets no matter what.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'd actually like to see, and Disney will probably never do this because the movie is like one of Disney's like notorious like box office flops. Yeah. But the Black Cauldron, the Horned King would be dope, dude. Dope. Yeah, I would love to see the Horned King.
Hey, OG, bring up Bricky's comment. That's the latest one.
Let me see the latest one.
Latest one.
Oh, 100%. Bricky, I actually got a JPEG drop.
Apologize for not being the ally that you needed me to be.
There we go. That's the only JPEG drop I got, but
good.
I mean,
that's my favorite drop.
Hey, you know what? Actually, I think Universal should do like a whole maze on like Disney executives or something for HHN. That'd be dope.
Oh man,
Ryan Roberts would love that. He'd be first in line.
Oh, heck yeah.
1,000%. Shane Narani here says, was the 70th key worth the money? It seems that you created a great memory. Yeah, I mean, Conductor and Tommy, like, I'll start with you, Tommy. Like, was it worth it? Was it worth the money?
All right, so we were rolling around together, and it was like within the first couple hours it was released. And like you said, that core memory basically of getting the Winnie the Pooh honey pot, as the pin when it opened, like that was the camaraderie. That was the core memory. It definitely creates a core memory, especially if you have kids. It's definitely a workout too. I mean, you got to walk to every land and do the keyhole, and you got to do a scavenger hunt. You really got to stick with it. I think it was worth it because then you could just, display it afterwards. It lights up. You know what I mean? I mean, we could play with it. Yeah, it's pretty cool for what it is.
Yeah. Nice. What say you, Conductor? Was it worth it?
So I'm going to start from the very beginning. So when we got into the park, me and Tommy met up with OG, George, and his wife, Abby. I have to tell you, the line out the door for the Emporium, we finally got in there after waiting. It was like Armageddon in the Emporium. So that was the experience. That was awesome. Like Tommy said, doing all these key challenges, you are going to get a workout. It was a lot of fun. A lot of YouTubers were doing it. We didn't really see too many kids doing it. Mainly all the YouTubers and bloggers, influencers were doing it. But like Tommy said, when we got to the very last challenge in front of the Disneyland gates, right where you take that photo opportunity with the railroad and all that.
Yeah.
Tommy did that last challenge, and we all thought George was going to get the honey pot, pin. So we're telling George all day long, you're going to get it. And as soon as Tommy did it, he got it. And I think on his Instagram reel on Instagram, it's going viral still. I literally scream on the top of my lungs, screaming, Tommy, you got it. Oh, dude, it was a memorable moment. We were all laughing.
That is fantastic. Hey, Mark McHugh is coming in hot tonight, dude. When they went through Osama, I can't even read this. When they went through Osama bin Laden's hard drive, they found the movie Ants. Does this confirm to you that A Bug's Life is superior?
Dude, Mark was on fire with that.
Dude, Mark,
I laughed pretty hard too. Hey, Tommy, hold that key up again if you don't mind.
You want to see it again?
Yeah. Hey, am I the only one that thinks that that's a big D?
Oh, Slimer, that's a massive D, bro.
I got the little one right there.
You got big D and little D.
Yeah. The big one suits you, Tommy. The big one suits you.
Yeah, for real. Hey, actually, I had this World of Color Happiness pin that I got in the dessert package, and I was gonna do a live unboxing real quick. So you could get 3 different types. You could get the regular, glittered, or gold.
Very cool.
So should we do it? Should we?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do an
Right,
unboxing.
let's do it. Let's see what we got. So this was going for like 100 on eBay, right?
Wow.
Oh man, I just got the regular plain Jane, but it's still cool.
That's still fire.
It's all good.
So
Absolutely.
I didn't get the gold one. Nothing cool this time, but it's all right.
It's all good. But Cassandra says right here you got double D's.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome. Hey, and right now we got the one and only Mr. Theme Park Wizard in the chat.
What's up?
I want to send a huge congratulations to Wizard and his lovely wife. They just like a few days ago got married. So Wizard, congratulations to you and Elizabeth.
Wizard.
Well,
Yep.
congratulations, dude.
Yep. Congratulations to Mr. Wizard and his lovely wife. That's amazing, amazing news. And we got Mr. Hey Bricky here. I was there Saturday. Key locations still had lines.
Wow.
Wow.
So
People are still doing it. That's great.
yeah, people are still doing California Dream. A big Slimer fan. Slimer in the house.
Yeah.
What's up, California?
Absolutely. And then Jay Brad here, friend of the channel, says idea for HHN House about Disney executives. Michael Eisner's son pops out and tells you that he doesn't think you're cool.
Wow.
I love this.
You know what? You know, I was thinking for like Oogie Boogie, I would want to see the Horn King, Chernobog. I want to see Hopper, and also I would love to see, because they're already incorporating, like when they have like Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and like their Kingdom Hearts outfits. I would love to see like some Heartless characters in there as well. I think that'd be freaking awesome. And then you can also sell like the Keyblade merch. That would be sick. And here's the thing with the Bug's Life too, because I love Hopper, right? What if you made a like kind of a house, right? A maze of like a Bug's Life, but make it scary where you have like all the creepy crawly insects that jump out at you.
That'd be sick, dude.
That would be.
That'd be sick. That would be sick. We have a member for 3 months. Thank you so much, Brian, for being a member. We do appreciate you, brother. Do you think Universal didn't plan by building indoor attractions in 2025? Abu Dhabi is going to be an indoor park because of elements. What happened? Here's the thing, Brian, I've noticed, I mean, and Disney has gotten a lot of heat for this. No pun intended, a lot of heat. A lot of heat for this too, when they built like Toy Story Land and things like that. A lot of people were getting on Disney for like, California Imagineers designing for Florida, right? It just, for some reason, it seems like a lot of these creatives, whether it's be the Universal team or the Imagineers, I don't know, man. They don't, when they build these things in Florida, they don't really account for the weather. It's not, we don't get rain out here in California. Okay. We can go 2 years without it raining, but in Florida, you guys get it like every day at 4 o'clock, and it's really humid, really hot. I don't know why they don't account for it more than they do. I mean, like you said, Brian, they are clearly planning for the elements for Abu Dhabi. I don't know why they don't take that same kind of care when it comes to Orlando. Slimer, you live out there. What say you, brother?
Yeah, it's real simple. If you have an indoor theme park, or if you have a lot of places that people can get out of the rain, then how are you going to sell ponchos and themed umbrellas for $39.99?
Exactly.
There you go, bro. Absolutely.
You monetize it. I mean, you got to think like a capitalist company. I mean, you monetize the rain. Ponchos, umbrellas.
100%.
Well said, Slimer.
Same thing. It's cold out here.
Yeah,
jackets.
All right.
Make that money. Absolutely. Theme Park Wizard here says, shit, it's hot in Cali too. We also need more indoor rides. Yeah, I mean, it does get hot out here in Cali for sure. And Jem here says, congrats to Theme Park Wizard. 100%. We love you, Wizard. You're awesome, brother. Keep up the great work. He does a lot of great content. Really good dude, man. Really good dude. Let's continue here with, sorry, I lost my spot. I do apologize. There we go. We got, and Tommy, I do apologize. We are Mike Wazowski, you and Slimer. Every time I pull a comment up, I do apologize. I can't help it. I'm going to try to keep them up as brief as possible. But Brentley here says, hi, everybody watching from Japan. Well, thank you so much for watching from Japan. I wish I was watching from Japan. I would love to be there right now. Disneyland, California.
Food, right?
What was that? I'm sorry?
The food, right?
For the food, of course. Yeah. Of course. 100% for the food. Disneyland, California going to ever get a modeling of Sleeping Beauty Castle? And will we ever get a daytime new parade in Disney parks? A remodel of Sleeping Beauty Castle? Probably not. I'm assuming, Brentley, you're talking about like what Hong Kong got, right? Where they extend it and make it bigger. That's not going to fly out here in Cali. Like, there's so much history with that castle and our park. They're not going to do that. Now, in terms of like beautifying it, like adding enhancements to it, yeah, and they have done that over the years. But in terms of like making it bigger and things like that, no, it's never going to happen. But what say you? Well, we'll go with you, Mr. Webba. What say you, brother?
Yeah, no, I mean, the castle as it is, I love it. I know it's like, I know it's small compared to the other parks and whatnot, but you know what? I love it. It's iconic. I love that we have that walkthrough. The best, we can do is just, keep adding little dazzling stuff on it, kind of remake up, but I guess you could say, put new paint stuff. Like right now, I don't know what year it was, OG, when they added like the little like stars, like the blue, like
that was like right before the pandy, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, that I thought was a really nice touch. So just kind of stuff like that, we can do to the castle. But I don't think the castle needs any like remodeling to like make it wider or bigger. I think it's perfectly fine the way it is, and it represents the Disneyland Park in California. Fantastic.
Yeah. What say you, Conductor? What do you think about that, man? Do you think they should touch that castle, or do you think that it's good the way it is?
No. I think they should leave it the exact same size. They shouldn't build on top of it. I do think, time and time again, enhancing it, updating the colors on it, like refreshing it is always a great thing. Adding little enhancements, not something where you're going to add another level to it. I do have to say though, and it was kind of a little disappointing when we were there for the Disneyland 70th, the grand opening day, they did not have the fountains working. That was previously from Disney 100 celebration. They didn't have those working anymore. So I don't know if they are in the process of getting those updated again or getting them working, or they're just going to let them just sit there. I don't know. But to sum it all up, I don't think they should touch the castle. It was Walt's original castle, and it's an icon that should never, ever, ever be touched.
What say you, Tommy?
I mean, I like when they fix stuff up brand new too, but I like keeping it nostalgic, and I think maybe just keep the Sleeping Beauty Castle how it is. I mean, we always get little extras added onto it, and kind of like Conductor said, maybe always refurbish the colors. And I feel like Disney's really good with upkeep. I was at another spot recently, and the upkeep wasn't as good. So I feel like, they always maintain it well. I don't really need a new castle. I mean, what's the castle in the Abu Dhabi one? Just a crystal one? It's not really dedicated to any princess, right?
Correct. As far as we know, it's not. I mean, it kind of resembles Elsa's castle, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be.
Okay. Well, I think just keep it like it is. Yeah.
I agree. What say you, Slimer? As a Floridian, I mean, would you want to, like, how do you feel about the castle? Because I know, like, when you came down here recently back in August, like, you were probably like, what happened to your castle? Where is it?
No, remember this. That was my third time to Disneyland. But look, his castle should always be plussed, but never remodeled. You can't remodel it's too good the way it is. Just plus it up every now and then, and it's perfectly fine. Its greatness lies in the fact that it has stayed the same for the most part over the last however many decades.
Yeah,
a couple of touches here and there, but that's all it needs.
Well said. Well said. Mr. Hey Bricky here says, if you were tasked with the redesign of Tomorrowland, would you give some of the space to Fantasyland or Main Street, or bet it all on the future? No, I wouldn't bet it all on the future. I think Tomorrowland has been a problem area since the beginning, Bricky. It's really hard to keep up with. Fantasyland is a cash cow, let's be honest, for Disney, right? You have billion-dollar franchises like Frozen and what have you, all those Disney princesses. I think the smart move, if I was Disney, I'm letting Fantasyland encroach further into that Tomorrowland space. I don't want to get rid of Tomorrowland. I mean, I think I think Tomorrowland still, should have a place at Disneyland, for sure. But it's really hard to keep up with Tomorrowland, and I think that there's so much more. I think that with Fantasyland, it's more evergreen for them. And evergreen in terms of like just relevance, like with these princesses that never go out of style, and evergreen in terms of money, right? So yeah, I think you dedicate more to Fantasyland. What say you, Mr. Webba?
Yeah, Fantasyland, right? Okay, I like the idea of Tomorrowland and whatnot, right? I love space, I love technology, the future, stuff like that, right? But let's say if we were to utilize some of the space for like Fantasyland, we could get like a Frozen attraction. And here's what we could do: take Ariel from DCA and move it over to Fantasyland. Like how come we don't have Ariel over in Disneyland? Like, to me, that blows my mind, because she's a classic Disney princess, right? Let's get a Lion King attraction over there. So let's take some of that. So I would take some of that space for Fantasyland and include more Fantasyland attractions over there, because I definitely think that we could use a little bit more.
Yeah, no, 100%. And this is the dilemma, I think, when Disney goes in for Tomorrowland. Eventually it's going to happen, but they're going to have to make those decisions. Like I was advocating, Bricky, for a long time before we knew that Pandora was going to go into DCA. I would have thought like that whole area between like where Autopia is and all the way up until like you hit like the motorboat cruise area and all that good stuff, that whole little plot of land right there would have been perfect for, I think, Pandora, because Pandora as a franchise really does straddle like the fantasy and the tomorrow. And that's kind of like the perfect segue IP between these two lands. And that would have been a great thing, I think, right in that spot. Right now, obviously, you would have to do something about the Spaghetti Bowl monorail and all that good stuff. But I would have put Pandora there if it was up to me, instead of DCA. But, I don't know. That's kind of where my head's at. What about you, Conductor?
So I absolutely agree. One of the things we talked about on George's walk and talk, which again, shout out to George the Italiano for allowing me to be part of that. We walked in that area and we walked around the lagoon, and I 100% agree with OG that the Avatar land wouldn't have been perfect there, because a lot of people enjoy that lagoon. Obviously Autopia, got an announcement a while back that they were going to get rid of their gas vehicles, turn them to electric. But I still think that's only temporary. I think Autopia will eventually either be on the chopping block or be shortened significantly, because the way we look at it, I think, I could be wrong, our Autopia out here in Disneyland is actually bigger slightly than the Walt Disney one. I could be wrong though. But that lagoon area was probably a perfect place for Pandora. But I want to give Imagineering the opportunity to see what they could do in DCA with it. I just I'm skeptical, because I've seen Disney do projects between Tron and other areas that things have happened. But one thing I can say though is I don't think James Cameron is going to let them slip up at all. So it's going to be a grand land. I disagree with OG. It shouldn't have been maybe in that lagoon area.
Yeah, no, I would agree. What say you, Tommy?
Just to change it up a little bit, man, maybe expand Main Street. Maybe just expand the big party because people are coming, through Main Street, and Tomorrowland is kind of like a mixture anyways, right? Like, I mean, did they have the Lilo and Stitch show there right now or something?
Yeah.
Anyways, so, like if we got some more restaurants, I mean, I'm cool with them, like maybe even eliminating Tomorrowland. Like, I really don't need it. I know it was Walt's like big thing. Like I already know, but like, for instance, like I only really go over there for like Star Wars After Dark, not like, that event. Then, I mean, what do you guys really eat over there? I mean, Pizza Planet. You guys try to get the burgers. The burgers aren't that fire at all, man. They're like kind of mid. Like, I mean, what, like you go to Tomorrowland for the popcorn buckets too, right?
Yeah. See, the issue, I agree with you, Tommy. Like, but the issue I think with Tomorrowland too is like the normies seem to be piling in like crazy in Tomorrowland.
Dude, OG, when you go to Tomorrowland, dude, that land, dude, is packed with people. I mean, look, you got very mid Buzz Lightyear Astral Blaster ride, okay? Then you have the Astral Orbiter, which I do not like that theme being there because it creates like this blockage in like going in and out of the land. I do not like it. And then you have Star Tours when we already have a Galaxy's Edge, okay? And then you have Pizza Planet, which is, it's all right. I like the idea, Pizza Planet, right? It's cool. The claw and whatever. The burgers, I never eat at Galactic Grill. We have that freaking launch bay that's been sitting there for years, which is a waste of space. And the only thing I go there for is, like Star Tours. What was that? Yeah. Space Mountain. Yeah,
Space Mountain, right.
Yeah, exactly. Space Mountain and their bathrooms. I go there for Space Mountain and their bathrooms. So and then
the Star Tours store that's very iconic, man. The store is really fire.
Yes,
that's like you walk into it after. Yeah, so I guess those two, they keep those, but then change everything else, maybe.
But see, here's the problem I see with Tomorrowland as well, because we've all talked about it as well. With merchandise, people will buy merchandise, so they will release merchandise that's limited before the event even starts. So the point I'm trying to get across is, as long as people keep coming into Tomorrowland, that's telling Disney, hey, we're not going to change anything. Now, if the land's like a ghost town, then they might be starting to scratch their heads saying, maybe we should do some. But as long as people keep flooding that area, what encouragement does Disney have to do anything with that?
Well, and that's the theme, right? And that's what I always say, Conductor, is that there's like this kind of disconnect between us and the fan bubble versus the normies, right? Yeah. And so sometimes we have to take ourselves out of the bubble and be like, oh, what's really popular amongst the wider general audience to Disney?
The normies are very different than like us, right? Like we're and Seymour, his next comment or question is about the normies. But there is a disconnect. We talk about a lot on the channel between like the diehard Disney fans like us and the normies, But Mr. Seymour Duck here says, thoughts on the success of the live action Lilo and Stitch. I'm seeing mixed reactions online, but is that what the normies think? Yeah. It's tough to say, Seymour. I haven't seen it yet. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, like, if you're referring to X, or Twitter, a lot of the people on there are like, are very much in like that nerd bubble that I'm talking about. So what does the soccer mom think? What do the kids think that are seeing it? That's what's probably going to determine the success of this thing. I mean, I'm still thinking though, it's going to make $1 billion. I'm almost certain. Maybe here says, I saw it yesterday, Seymour, but I have some thoughts. That's very, very interesting. Maybe you might have to post your thoughts on here. I'm very curious as to what your thoughts were on that. But what say you, Slimer? What do you think, brother, in terms of like the Lilo and Stitch kind of success with the box office and all that jazz?
I mean, it had a record-breaking Memorial Day box office, so it doesn't really matter what people think. I mean, it had an A cinema score. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes here. 69% tomato meter, 93% audience score. I mean, if you're looking at the 20,000 foot view of the audience reaction of this, it's overwhelmingly positive, not just in terms of reviews and out of the theater reaction by Cinema Score, but the box office like $340 million freaking dollars on a weekend. That's huge. Disney's already scrambling to put together some kind of Lilo and Stitch attraction back into Walt Disney World is like all I'm really thinking about. I mean, especially if this thing hits $1 billion, I wouldn't be surprised if Walt Disney Pictures is already greenlighting it for a sequel. These are huge numbers. I mean, there's no way you can spin this any other way. Like, I'm sure, yeah, you're gonna have your naysayers, but like, who cares? The numbers are not lining up with what the naysayers are saying.
Yeah, no, well said, Sam. Well said. Dave Auberino here says, Orange, did you watch the Snow White movie? No, I didn't. Here's the thing. It doesn't interest me. Snow White didn't look good to me. I got to be honest. It's on my list. Yeah, it's on my list. I'm actually going to watch it on February 31st. That's the day I'm going to watch this movie. But no, I didn't watch it. But I do like Rachel. I think she's a cutie. And honestly, I have nothing against. It's not even her. It's just the movie looked really cheesy and bad, and I don't have any interest in it. So, but what about you guys? Did you watch it, Webba?
No, and I'll watch it when I actually have some downtime where I can afford to watch something like that. I have just no interest really. I haven't really liked any of these live actions. I like some. I liked Aladdin. I like Beauty and the Beast, and I actually liked both Maleficent movies. But the other ones I haven't enjoyed at all, and I just don't care to watch the Snow White one.
Yeah, 100%. What say you, Tommy? Are you did you ever see it?
No, I didn't catch it yet. Unfortunately, I'm kind of big into horror, so I kind of stay in the horror genre for movies. I got to start keeping up with these. Lilo and Stitch, Snow White. I definitely got to check these out. Did you see the Steamboat Willie horror movie? You got to check out the Disneyland crossovers. They got Winnie the Pooh too.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And we got a friend of the channel, Lene Ward, in the house. Okay, this is for everybody. Did you guys all grow up going to amusement parks like Disney as kids? And is that what started your theme park passion, or did you fall in love with them later in life? What's y'all's origin story? So, Lene, my origin story actually, like when I was a kid growing up, I fell in love with Disney animation. I fell in love with the Renaissance era, the Little Mermaid, the Beauty and the Beast, the Lion King, all that good stuff. So my passion for Disney actually started in the animation. Now, because of the animation, that got me more into like the theme parks, and then the rest is kind of history. But it was the animation like that got me into this whole thing. So what say you, Webba? Then we'll go to Conductor and the two gentlemen on the bottom.
Absolutely. So actually mine is very much like OG's, like I grew up as a baby with Disney baby characters on my wall. Okay. My mom bought me Disney pillows and bed sheets, all that stuff. So I was surrounded by Disney as a kid growing up. I had a bookshelf full of a VHS of every Disney movie known to man, okay, on that thing. So I grew up watching Disney, the animation, the movies, playing the games, right? So I was very involved with Disney. Then when I was 4, I finally went to Disneyland for the first time with my mom. That was her first time. And then from there, I was always going to Disneyland all the time. But of course, I also went to SeaWorld. I went to Universal Studios, not sometimes. So I really my passion for theme parks was there. But because Disney had the animation studio stuff plus the theme parks, it was like the perfect combination of the two blended together. And my passion for Disney was just skyrocket because I was like, oh my God, Mickey Mouse lives here, right? It is so cool. And when I first saw Fantasmic, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? The attractions, I'm going on these adventures with these characters. So it was really believable for me, right? It was really magical for me growing up with these characters and stories. So that's how I got into the theme park, amusement park stuff. But again, my main passion is Disney from all corners. They have great quality product in terms of movies and animation, theme parks. But yeah, I do like theme parks in general, but Disney is the number one for me.
There we go. And what say you, Conductor?
So I actually grew up something very similar. I was watching Disney Channel as a kid. Really got into Mickey's Clubhouse, and whatnot. And then when I was like 5 years old, my parents took me to Disneyland, and I had an absolute ball. I remember meeting Mickey Mouse for the first time on Main Street, and I apparently, from what my dad told me, I hugged him. I was crying, but I was so in love with it. And over the years, my dad is a big collector on sports memorabilia, Olympic stuff. He has some Disney stuff as well. So I kind of tie in with Bricky a little bit because I love all the nostalgia. I love, every time I go to Disney now, every single time, I always visit the Disneyana store, which is the museum right off Main Street when you get in, because I love just looking at the photos of Walt Disney, Roy, the original contracts from when they started the Walt Disney Studios way back in the day, and I've just become such a fan, even with Universal. Same thing. I went there as a kid, 5 years old. Me and my dad actually rode Jurassic Park together, and that was an absolute memorable moment. But, Disney has a special place for me because when I was about 10, 11, we did, I forgot what hotel it was, but it was on property, and we actually we sat in the banquet hall. Okay. And they had a buffet, and they had all the characters come out. I mean, like 20 to 30, maybe 40 of them just interacting, signing autographs in the autograph book. I remember bringing that as a kid, getting all the little autographs. So that's kind of my background of it. So that's how I kind of tie in Universal and Disney for me.
There he is. Slimer, what say you? What got you into Disney, brother? Or amusement parks, or in Disney parks and all that stuff?
Going to the parks. I mean, really. I've been going to the parks since the 80s. But, in the 80s, I also grew up watching, the old Wonderful World of Disney's from the 50s and the 60s. So I grew up watching Uncle Walt. And so for me, Disney World as a kid was, it was the full package. It was Walt Disney on the Wonderful World of Disney. And then it was Michael Eisner back in the 80s and the 90s doing his thing. And you had the horror specials like, what's his name? Mr. Boogedy. He scared the shit out of me as a kid. I remember, it was the combination of everything. Disney was very much an integral part of my childhood because I was watching the cartoons, not just the TV shows, but the movies. I had all of them on VHS. I still remember watching the Three Caballeros over and over and over. I used to love that movie. And I think it was because of the Spanish girls in it. All the Latin American girls in that one. I was just a sucker for that one because of that. Just like Donald Duck, man. He just fawns over them, and I was just fawning over them with them. But it was the whole wheelhouse of Disney products from the parks. When I was going, Epcot was only 6 years old or 8 years old. It was a brand new park, and so everything was new.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all of it, and then the theme parks really just kind of reinforced it, because I grew up watching the shows first. You're first introduced to that, and your parents decide, oh well, you're old enough to get on rides now, and then you end up going to the rides, and I remember my parents telling me that the ghosts would follow me home, like they would really follow me home when I got off of the Haunted Mansion, and I remember losing sleep as a kid. I had very, very bad nights from my parents telling me that the ghosts are real. They're really following me home. So it's funny what you remember from the theme parks as a kid.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's wild. It's wild. But 100% Slimer, what say you, Tommy? What got you into this stuff, man?
So I got a little bit of everything. Of course, I grew up watching all the Disney movies, Aladdin, Lion King. Those are my top two. And, I can't miss Toy Story with Pixar. I was in first grade going to the movie theater for that. That's showing my age right there. So, but also, I'm in the Bay Area, right? So I got a couple theme parks out here, but my family, we always used to go to Disneyland, and I got a picture, I'm in the stroller. I'm one in front of Splash Mountain. It's fire. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is lit. So, but realistically, like I said, near me is Six Flags. It was Marine World. Now it's Discovery Kingdom. I actually worked there. Right out of high school, I used to, I was at the store right after Superman. So right after you got off the crazy Superman ride, I was right there at the store trying to make you buy one of those capes for $20. So, you know, I mean, I worked there. I loved it. I loved everything about it. Great America is near me too. That was big back in the day. I mentioned it before. It had a Paramount deal. So there was Days of Thunder, Top Gun. It was like big stuff, man. I didn't hit Universal till later on in life, man, which is terrible. I missed out on a lot, but I'm trying to catch up right now. You know what I mean?
100%. And we got Bricky Vlog here with the my video that I did this week on, hey, Bricky uncovered a pre-DCA plan to put a Western version of Tower of Terror in Frontierland. What's your vibe on this different version of Disneyland we didn't get? You know what, Bricky, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't checked your video out, but I'm definitely going to do so.
Definitely.
But was this the Geyser Mountain concept? Because I remember reading about a concept Disney wanted to do where I think Galaxy's Edges now, or like that Big Thunder Ranch barbecue place was, where it was going to be this, like what Bricky's saying, like a Tower of Terror thing where you would go up like out of a geyser and come back down it. If that's what you're referring to, Bricky, that would be amazing. I would love that. I like this idea of Disney sort of like reinventing that Tower of Terror kind of concept. I thought it was really clever what they did for like Mission Breakout. You know, I mean, a lot of fans were kind of skeptical about that, but Joe Rohde, he came through with that for sure. You know, it was a cool way of kind of using that ride system. They're doing a Spider-Man version of that overseas, which we talked about earlier, right, Webba? I think that's going to be cool. So, yeah, I would love something like that in Disneyland, to utilize that ride system for like Frontierland or something. That was sick. But, yeah, Bricky, if you're still around, though, is it Geyser Mountain? I thought that's what it was, and I thought the placement of it was where Galaxy's Edge was going to be. But let us know in the chat, Bricky. But what say you, Webba?
So I actually didn't even know about this, you know, so I'll probably take away my Disney fan card.
Yeah. Turn it over, Webba. Turn it over.
There we go. But that's actually a pretty cool idea. And here's the thing, like, I want to ask you guys, you know, going off Bricky's question here, would you guys be opposed to Disneyland having kind of like if they can manage it, like a type of Frontierland expansion, adding a ride system like this there?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah. What say you, Slimer? What do you think about that, brother?
Well, like Bricky says here, as long as the story goes, he says the story goes way deeper than that. So obviously there's a big backstory to it. I'm going to watch that video, Bricky.
Absolutely.
If they can tie it into the Frontierland story, even better. I know people that are really into the story that makes the lands would be really interested into that, as opposed to just popping in a ride. I feel like that'd be the lazy, cheap way out. I definitely don't want Disney to go that route, because it has to be something that is not just fun and entertaining for the time that you're on it, but for those deeper Disney fans that are really into the story element of Disneyland, it has to permeate the time, right? Like, it has to be timeless. In order for that thing to be timeless, it can't just be a good ride. Like, it has to be bigger. It has to have story. It has to have an integral part of Frontierland itself, by building off of, you know, they can build off of Captain Lafayette or the Haunted Mansion or New Orleans or gold mining or something like that. And there's so many ways that they can build into the story and make it really intriguing and something that the hardcore Disney fans can get geeky after.
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
Well said. Now, Bob Iger chimed in, Eva, and he revoked your special access. So,
man, come on.
Yeah, you're messing up, bro. You're messing up, dude.
He's mad too, because he has the red laser eyes, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's either mad or really woke, one of the two, or maybe both. And maybe here says Iger don't fuck around. No, he doesn't. Not at all. But what say you, Conductor? What are your thoughts on like a Tower of Terror kind of ride system for Frontierland?
So I actually like the idea, but I'm gonna bounce with Slimer on this one. If they're gonna put something like that in Frontierland, and again, Bricky, I'm also gonna watch your video. I haven't watched it yet, but I definitely will do so.
Absolutely.
But I agree with Slimer. It can't just be something they slap in. It has to have a story. It has to tie into the existing lands and IPs that are there, and it has to, in a way, it has to blend in. First of all, second of all, it has to cater to the soccer moms, as OG likes to call it, and it has to blend in with the theme park nerds like us, to satisfy everybody. Because if it's something where they just slap it in and say, "Oh, here you go," then it's like the soccer moms are going to love it, but is that enough support for everyone else? It's not.
No, absolutely. What say you, Tommy?
Well, I think I think Bricky was saying that it was like pre-DCA, right? So we wouldn't even have known about the Guardians one yet, right? So it wouldn't have been built yet. So we would have probably been itching and wanting that Tower of Terror from, Walt Disney World or whatever. So, I mean, I'm sure we would have been eating it up when it came here, especially in the Western area. It would have been fire, bro. Like, if whatever they pulled off with it, I'm sure it would have been good. I'm sure it still would be pretty decent. Like what Conductor said, though, it just has to fit. And we have to watch Bricky's video. I'm sure there's a location and everything for it.
There we go. Mark McHugh here says, I watched The Little Mermaid on beta in case y'all wanted to feel young. Hey, Mark. Honestly, bro, I'm not too far behind you, brother. So, yeah.
How much does that go for on eBay, bro? Little Mermaid on Betamax.
I saw it in the movie. Yeah, I remember being in the back of my mom's station wagon when we went to go see it.
Oh, that's wild, Slimer. That's wild. Yeah, Slimer, you and I are about the same age, roughly, right? And so Beta, you probably remember that. That
just was a couple years away from our AARP cards, man.
You know what I'm saying, dude? You know what I'm saying? But hey, we look good. We drink our bone broth. We eat our veggies, so. Absolutely. And let's see who else. Let's see what other comments we got in the chat today. It says here that the two Disney genders are soccer moms and theme park nerds.
I love that.
Oh,
There we go. Absolutely, baby. 100%.
And the babies come from the storks, because the theme park nerds are definitely not getting it on with the soccer moms.
Oh, hell yeah. That's fantastic. I could always count on maybe. I'll always count on maybe with the bomb comments, man. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Lene Ward here says, I love the idea that this hydro-based ride would tie into the rivers of America. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Dope. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely fantastic.
I forgot maybe's in the chat, bro. Take the question box off real quick.
Oh,
hey, I wore the shirt just for you.
There you go, maybe right there.
Much,
hey, can you stand up? Because that is the dopest shirt ever, Tommy.
I know it is pretty cool, man. I know we can't see much, bro. My fault.
Oh,
you can go look at the picture, bro. You can go look at the picture.
Yeah, check out my Instagram. I have a picture with Tommy and the guys. It's a dope shirt, dude. Shout out to a Goofy movie. Yeah. All right, here we go. Alexander Bia says here, Universal UK has a number of obstacles to overcome. First, unlike Disney, Universal doesn't have the luxury of a continent-sized open border zone, increasing the opportunity cost for many. Second, the UK is in the middle of both a massive cost of living crisis and a seemingly stagnating economy. There's serious doubt about any domestic demand for a likely expensive theme park experience. What say you, Slimer? What are your thoughts on that, brother?
So to contextualize some of what Alexander is saying here, the United Kingdom, I believe, has a 12% unemployment rate. And as we know, unemployment rates are always conservatively based by the CBO. Or here it's the CBO, but over there is somebody else. But with the 12% unemployment rate, the stagnating wages, higher taxes to balance the budget. There's not a lot of expendable revenue for entertainment in the United Kingdom at the moment. The disposition of the British kind of projects that, they're like a very serious people. They're probably not going to put it over soccer or any other pastime sport, I don't believe.
Or any soccer moms, dare I say?
Soccer moms, yeah. But he definitely has a good point. They're going to have to rely on the rest of the European Union for that cash. So I can see them. I can see that that's why they. If you notice that the lands placate to not just the British Isles, but to more like Europe overall when it comes to the theming, especially if they have like a Back to the Future land. I mean, obviously it was popular in the United Kingdom when they were doing their run there, but they're placating to Americans, and so they want American tourists to come over and kind of fill that gap that perhaps the British people can't fill because of wages, stagnating or unemployment rates. So I can see them, building lands to attract, more wealthy nations within Europe. Maybe it's kind of hard to say there's wealthy nations in Europe. I mean, they're all having economic issues due to a lot of their fiscal policies, but yeah, I think they're going to rely on all of Europe, and Disneyland Paris is not much different. I mean, they don't just rely on Paris; they rely on everybody in the European Union. So I guess you got to kind of think of it as, the way Disneyland appeals to the entire United States, or the way Walt Disney World appeals to the entire United States. Look at the 500 million people that exist in the EU, not just the people that are living in the British Isles.
There we go.
Real quickly, I have a question for you, Slimer. So I know that the UK tends to rain a lot. Do we know if Universal for the UK are going to have specific, or if they have a plan to make more indoor stuff or more coverings to not have the parks washed out from a lot of the rain that the UK gets?
I don't know. I mean, the plans are too preliminary. We don't have any details except for that one artistic rendering, which is meaningless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kiki and Luca says here to contextualize. Okay, Professor Slimer. and maybe here says like Kiki and Luca. I always feel like I'm being educated when Slimer talks. There you go.
For real, huh?
Slimer's got it. Slimer's got it. And I do want to give a big shout out to our friend Bob Iger, who we all received special access from. Thank you, Bob, for gifting one OG55 membership. Thank you so much, Bob. We love you. We will see you on Sunday brunch in Malibu. You are amazing, my friend. Absolutely amazing. Bob Iger, let's go. Absolutely. Let's see here. Where are we? Let me check out the chat. Oh, Alexander continues. Like what I said earlier, Universal doesn't have the Schengen area, the open border zone, to rely on to help attract EU tourists. And then Kiki and Luca says, I like it when Slimer has 10 beers. I actually like it when we all have 10 beers. We actually have a really good time when we have beers. I think Ebba, we went to, was it called Black Tap the other day at downtown and Conductor, right?
That was wild.
That was a wild time. Absolutely.
I was so friggin' tired that night, dude, because I had so much fun at on Saturday with the boys, man, and it was an amazing time. It was like a party, and I was like, because already I was up for since 7 that morning, and then I'm driving an hour there. I'm having fun with the dudes, right, hanging out and everything. So much excitement, right, and then seeing Paint the Night, seeing the fireworks, and then seeing the tapestry just back to back to back. And then I'm like, OG, bro, I just want to fall asleep, dude. And then we go to the Black Tap, and then we have a theme park conductor with us. I'm eating my freaking chicken tenders. I'm falling asleep at the table. I'm like, oh my god.
And you had a 2-hour drive ahead of you too. You live far, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, the good thing is that there's no traffic, so I got home, but I was almost falling asleep on the way home, dude. I was so tired. I didn't get home till 2 in.
That's crazy.
That's wild. That's wild. That's where we found out about the Italiano's calendar concept.
Yeah,
that
was a spicy conversation.
Yeah, for those at home, we were all just shooting the shit. We were at Black Tap, just drinking, having a good time, and George drops this idea on us where he wants to do a calendar of him in sexy, I guess with his shirt off or something, all themed to Disney parks. So he would be no shirt with an astronaut helmet on for the Tomorrowland picture. Crazy stuff. But George is crazy enough where he'll actually do it. So I'm sure it's coming.
Well, sorry, but I want to ask you, could you pull up Remy D's question real quick?
Yeah, I got you. The birth rate one?
Yes, because I actually want to kind of talk about this. I don't think this would have any impact on Disney parks, but maybe this might have an impact on any park that's aimed towards children, such as Legoland and like the Universal Kids stuff, because those are geared more towards the children. And Disney, they attract everybody, right? I mean, look, like Conductor was saying, right? It was all adults lined up to get this key, okay, for the 70th, right? It's all pretty much all adults, And you have parks that are more geared towards the children. If you have a long term, if like downfall of like birth rates, maybe in like 20, 30 years, you could see these parks start to hurt. That's just kind of my theory I'm thinking about, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of go off that question.
No, absolutely. Mr. Seymour Duck here says, "Is Universal Kids still a thing for Texas?" Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it's still happening. It got approval. It's moving forward. 100% Seymour Duck. We gotta get Seymour Duck back on the channel, man. It's been way too long.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 weeks, man. We gotta get Mr. Duck back in here. You know what I'm saying?
Get him back on here. So I'm looking at queue times right here, and it looks like the latest attendance for Alton Towers. I mean, that's the best reference we can use because it's the biggest theme park in the UK. In 2023, the attendance numbers look to have hit 2.3 million. And the highest attendance on record for that park was 3.3 million back in 1994. So that's Alton Towers. I would say Universal Studios could easily double those numbers, but probably not much more than double. So, if that park is pulling in for the British Isles 5 million or 4 million a year, that's pretty freaking good. I think the population of the UK is 50 mil total?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there, right? So yeah, so pulling in 5 million or 4 million for a total population of 50 when the United States has over 350 million, that's pretty good. I mean, to have expectations higher than that, I think would be ridiculous. But you can also kind of also like estimate how much the overall investment of that park would be too. I would think that it would be a smaller park, maybe a $3 to $5 billion investment, maybe even $3 to $5 billion. Not so much as Epic Universe, because you wouldn't need to invest that much in a park to attract only 5 to 4 million people per year.
I 100% agree with that. And going back to an earlier comment about just the weather out there, because we've seen it with Epic Universe having a lot of attractions down because they're outdoors because of weather issues. I think when they do decide to put a shovel on the ground for the UK park, I think one of the things they can learn from Epic is have more attractions, kind of like Cosmic Rewind, that are more indoors, but still give that thrill factor.
Right.
That way they don't have, let's say they open the resort and they start out with 15 attractions. It wouldn't look too great if 12 of those attractions are down because of weather. So I think, don't get me wrong, Epic Universe is state of the art. It's awesome. But when they go to build the UK park, since they have similar weather patterns in a way, I think they need to look at that, in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Well said. Our friend Disney Diva says here, Remy D, with the Disney nerds and soccer moms not creating the next generation of fans, it's not looking so good. I know, I'm telling you, man. Slimer, you're right, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not looking so hot. It's not looking so hot. This is actually a question for Ebba. Mark says, is it true that single dudes aren't allowed in Legoland, or is that a myth?
No, that is a idea that's been misinterpreted. So what he's implying to is that there are Legoland Discovery Centers. Those, whether you're male or female, you cannot go into these as a childless adult. You have to go into these Legoland Discovery Centers with children. For Legoland, the main parks, you can go there at child free. So that's where because people think of kid stuff, so they kind of get the two mixed. And because the Discovery Centers have Legoland in front of it, that's why it gets mixed up. But no, so Legoland Discovery Centers, you have to have kids to go in there. Legoland parks, you don't have to.
There we go. And Mouseford Bound, always good to see you, Mouseford Bound. Thank you for joining the chat. What's on the cover of the calendar? Is it George and Webba spooning? I think so.
You gotta wait and find out. Okay.
Oh Lord, that's a
surprise. It's a surprise. Absolutely, 100%. And maybe here it says, Tommy, are we going to Vegas? Or no, are you going to Vegas for Universal Horror Unleashed? Are you going to Vegas, Tommy, or what?
Yeah, I'm actually going to Vegas in June, but I'm pumping and I'm trying to get there for the August grand opening. I should be there August 13th to the 17th. Me and Conductor. Hopefully everything plays out. But I guess you have to follow my channel for that. So,
hey, you heard the man. You gotta follow Tommy Toon World on YouTube. He's amazing. After the show, I'll link it in the description so everyone can click on it and subscribe. I was actually like boots on the ground watching this man like work his magic last weekend.
It was awesome.
Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. So, yeah, the Universal Horror Unleashed thing, it actually is a really cool concept. I really like that. I think it's going to be huge. And really what they could do with it, and Tommy, I don't know, I'm not like too familiar with this, but it's a year-round thing. They could switch that up, man. You could have like haunted Christmas events and stuff like that, dude. That would be sick. I mean, they could really, really mix this up and get creative, you know, because you have 365 days to mess with now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing is I'm not 100% sure their turnaround time with how many months they're going to have the houses in. I actually was talking to a very prominent YouTuber when I was at Universal, really high up their content creator. And he was, or they were telling me that they're not going grand opening weekend because they're kind of turned off by the 4 houses. You know, okay. Exorcist, Chainsaw Massacre, Scarecrow, and Universal Monsters. So I mentioned that it's not just that they have the bar that's interactive, and then they have the restaurant, and they're going to have merch and everything, and it's about the whole vibe and everything. But the opening weekend is the same weekend as Midsummer Night's Scream in California. So these horror fans are going to have to pick. Of course, John Murdy may be their grand opening Thursday, but I'm sure he's going straight back to Midsummer and doing it all like the weekend there. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. I'm wondering who's going to go. I know I'm going to see George and Abby out there for sure. So that's cool.
Now, Tommy, when you go to Vegas, I've been like probably like maybe a dozen times now. I know you've done content out there and all that. What do you do like outside of the theme parky stuff? Like what do you do out there? You go clubbing and stuff, or you just hit bar hop, or what's your thing?
All right. So the club, I do hit the clubs. I go to Live. I go to Dre's. I go to Omnia. I do hit the popping clubs. I'm not really recording there. Maybe the music, you get the music on there. But yeah, I'm hitting Vegas for the food reviews. I'm doing the Coca-Cola taste test. I'm hitting Chubby Cattle. You know, this time I'm going to hit the One Piece Cafe. There's only one in America. It's in Vegas.
From the anime?
One Piece Cafe. Yeah, from the anime, bro. Solid. So it's been open for a year and some change. So I like to get all the food reviews done. You know, of course, they have some attractions out there, you know, on the Strat. And then they got the SpongeBob ride in Circus Circus. And then New York has a roller coaster. But I've done those, but I don't really report on those. I usually shift my channel a little bit to UFC, which is fighting. So I know my channel is a little abrupt. You know, we get Disney and then we get fighting right after. I may shift all towards one eventually, and it may be theme parks. So you may hear it here first. Who knows?
There we go, Mr. Tommy Toon. And I got a request to answer James Georgie's, I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name, question. With Universal Studios United Kingdom announced to begin construction soon, what do you think Disneyland Paris should do to step up their game?
Oh, well, they're already bringing Lion King. So we got Lion King coming no matter what, but I know some people aren't happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, we got Lion King. I mean, they're really like reimagining and like ramping up the quality when it comes to that secondary gate. So they added an Avengers campus out there. I think they're kind of doing all the right moves already, James. I mean, that's what you're going to want to do. That second gate was really honestly, probably the weakest of all the Disney parks worldwide. So they gotta really fix that thing, and they are. And I think it's getting a frozen area too, if I'm not mistaken, Arendelle and stuff. So yeah, I think we're good. I think the offerings that they're offering, or that's on the pipeline, is sufficient. What say you, Slimer?
Nothing. They shouldn't do anything. They should sit and wait and see what Universal brings in terms of IP. See what the theme park guests are attracted to, what they're not attracted to. You're going to have 5 years of Disney movies from now until then. You might have a banger or two that belongs in a park. Just
100%.
Don't do nothing.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point. What's say, Webba? You have thoughts, bro?
Yeah. I don't think Disney is going to be the one who's going to have to worry and have the problem. And actually, no, Slimer, I talked to you about this. I was talking to you about this for about like an hour, dude. I think that Merlin is going to have a problem, and I really think that because Slimer, again, you brought up Alton Towers. I think that Merlin Entertainment's, they're going to really have to step up their game to draw in those guests, because Universal's going to come in and, in my opinion, kind of really stomp on Merlin in their own territory. So Merlin really needs to look at this and figure out what they're going to do for their parks.
Yeah, with attendance numbers of sub 3 million, sub 2.5 million annually. Yeah, I mean, a Universal Studios in the UK could help their attendance if it's bringing in international travelers, particularly from the United States. I don't know how many people are going to travel from the United States to the UK to visit it, but I might give it a little bit of a boost. But I think overall it is going to cannibalize Alton Towers. It could be a couple 100,000, maybe 100,000. Who knows? But I think in the long run, yeah, they are going to lose attendance to UK to Universal, because Universal has the money to play that long game.
Oh yeah,
Alton Towers does not.
100%.
Exactly. And just real quick, OG and Slimer, this is where I think that I don't know if I don't know how well Merlin knows how to navigate the theme park operations when it comes for like the US audience, right? Because the Merlin, they're kind of in this, Slimer, we talked about this, right? They're like in this kind of theme parky, but also touristy destination, like attraction theme, where they kind of have like hubs of attractions where that's really how they make, a lot of their money. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do going forward, especially because when you have Legoland under them, Universal's coming up with that kids park. Yes, it's not in California, it's not in Florida, but it's in Texas, So it's close to California. So, I'm wondering how that's going to affect even the California parks moving forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that was my piece.
Well said. And Kiki and Luca here says Tommy Toon hits the gentleman's club. Is that true, Tommy Toon?
Hey, man, keep it on the low, man. Keep it on the low.
You hitting those clubs? You hitting those clubs?
No, Vegas. What's the slogan for Vegas, bro?
Hey, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, bro.
Yep. Well, we can party in Vegas, so if we all meet and party, man, you already know.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy over here dropping money, huh?
Brand new money, brand new hundreds, got a bunch of zeros like a bag of new Funyuns.
There we go.
New Funyuns.
A brand new, like a bag of Funyuns. Maybe says I'll be tuning in for that One Piece Cafe.
Oh, Tommy, now you gotta do it. You have to.
You gotta do it now, Tommy.
You gotta do it. June 26th. 1 month.
Mark your calendars, people. June 26th.
And Jans Smoke says, as they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, 100%. I've actually never, full disclosure, I've never actually done the strip clubs in Vegas. I've done them out here in California, I'm not going to lie. But I've never done them in Vegas. So, I don't know. Are they better, Tommy, than the Cali ones or what?
We'll have to do a Vegas live because I don't know who's on this live.
Oh boy!
Sorry,
a lot of special access on the table that could get lost here.
We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do an after dark one. OG.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%.
Kersanda says in the chat, get the money guns. I love it.
Yeah.
We'll call the after hours event Halloween Whores Night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is wild. Oh man, the money guns, dude. Like, can you imagine? That'd be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. OG needs to go to the bunny ranch.
Oh boy.
There we go. The bunny ranch.
OG's got a table at the bunny ranch.
Need a different live stream.
Exactly.
You gotta label this a different name or something.
This is the after hours edition of OG55. That is so funny. That is so funny. Let me see what other comments we have. We're hitting an hour and a half, so we're probably gonna be closing it out pretty soon here.
Jimmy D says, "I hope the Frozen ride in Paris is getting a clone of the superior Tokyo version and not Hong Kong's."
Oh, okay. Interesting. Let me pull that. Remy
I would
D.
hope so.
Yeah, Frozen is getting a clone. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Honestly, I kind of wish we would get the Frozen thing out here in California. I love Frozen. I love it. Yeah. Oh, and that's a really controversial opinion. I remember when that movie first came out, I really, really liked it, but everybody was shitting on Frozen because like they felt like Disney did it with like the marketing and like everything was Frozen. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I like it. I thought it was pretty cool. Disney. Go ahead.
Sorry, bro, real quick. I mean, I can see that point though, because I like Frozen, right? And I like Pirates of the Caribbean. And I feel what Disney does, this is me personally. When there's something that's so popular, Disney really like hypes it. For me, when something is so much hyped and shoved in my face, it turns me off from wanting to see it.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Like I really wanted to get one of those little Labubu dolls. I don't know if you guys have seen those around. You probably have, but the little Labubus, I'm like, oh, those are dope. But now everyone has it, So I don't know. It kind of turns you off after a while. I can see your point, Webba. Absolutely. Remy D here says this is OF55. show those feet, fellas. Show those feet.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
That's
Wild. Absolutely wild. Oh man. I really love the live shows that go off the rails like this. It's a lot. But
well, you know what you gotta do now? You gotta put your link on the bottom now.
Oh, I will definitely be doing that 100%. 100%. But I want to thank here we got one more. This is from Kiki and Luca.
Oh no.
No. I have a naked picture of Elsa on my wall and blast Let It Go when I drive on the 5 freeway. Oh, Kiki and Luca, you are such a gem. I love this man. I absolutely love this man. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Jay Brad, Kiki and Luca, maybe Remy D, Shane Narani, James, Linnea Ward, Theme Park Wizard, Jans Smokes, Mr. Seymour Duck, always, Alexander Bia, the one and only Bob Iger, everybody, come on. He was here, X-Voot, everybody that joined us, thank you so much. Hey, Bricky.
Hey, Bricky, yeah.
Hey, Bricky. Everybody that joined us, we want to thank you so much. We're going to get out of here. Oh, and Mark McHugh. Mr. Webba, I'll start with you, sir. Where can everybody at home find you on social media, sir, aside from OF55?
Well, besides OF55, you can find me on Threads, Instagram, and Twitter, Mr. Webba91. You can also find me right here on Orange Grove 55.
There he is, Mr. Theme Park Conductor, our choo-choo guy. Where can everybody find you, sir?
Absolutely. It's always a great time hanging out with you guys. OG, you're always a wonderful host. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. Shout out to Robert Iger for that membership. Absolutely. But you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we kind of have a live stream just like what we're doing right now with OG and having fun. And we just did one with Jared from Capture the Magic, so definitely go check that out on the channel. And that's about it for me. Oh, by the way, choo choo and a hot caboose for everybody.
There he is. Mr. Tommy Toon, thank you for joining us, brother. I love having you on the show more often, brother. It's always a good time. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Man, OG, man, I appreciate you. I would love to come on more often. So just hit me whenever, man. I'm down. I love coming on here. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate Webba too, man. Slimer, it's nice meeting you. Conductor, partner in crime. Appreciate you, man. So you guys can find me on YouTube at Tommy Toon World. As you can see all the Vegas stuff if you want to see some stuff like that. And then, of course, theme park stuff and food. But you could also catch me on Instagram, TommyToon_. That's where all the pictures. I'm posting on there a lot now, trying to get up there. So catch me on there.
There he is. There he is. Mr. Slimer, Slime Square. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Yeah, you guys can find me on X at SlimeSquare84. Look for Slime Square. You can find me on OrangeGo55 with these gents here. And sometimes I'm even on Capture the Magic with Jared. We do our theme park and talks. We'll have one coming up here very soon, this weekend, actually. So jump on Capture the Magic this weekend. We'll be talking theme parks.
There he is. And we got another membership gifted from our good friend and the source of our special access, the one and only Mr. Bob Iger. Thank you so much, Bob. We do appreciate you. You are the man. Thank you, Bob Iger, CEO, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got one more from Jem saying, Red Eye, Bobby, you are so generous with the dollars. Thank you for another gift. 100%. Everybody, thank you so much for watching this episode of OG55 Live. We're going to do a lot more of these. We love going live. Look out for them. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, see you later.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.